D, -3, -1. 1, 2, 3, -1. U, -1, 8. -1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. C, 8, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I did just now was I graphed the coordinates, and now the question is asking us to prove that triangle DUC is a right triangle. Now, first of all, when you look at the picture, you can clearly see that this is the angle that we got to focus on to prove that this is a right angle. So in order to prove that this is a right angle, we have to prove that the slope of DU and the slope of UC are negative reciprocal slopes, opposite sign flip slopes. So first of all, let's find the slope of DU. Now, if you remember in algebra, you learned that finding the slope is rise over run. So let me start with D, and then I want to get to point U. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So since I went up 9, I'm going to go positive 9. And then I'm going to go to the right 2, 1, 2. And since I went to the right, it's positive 2. So my slope for line segment DU is 9 over 2. Now I'm going to find the slope of line segment UC. Now let me use a different color. So I'll make this blue. So I'm going to start from point C, and I want to get to point U. So I'm going to go up 1, 2. Since it was up 2, I'm going to go positive 2, and then I'm going to go to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And since I went to the left, it's negative 9. So this slope reduces to negative 2/9. Now, if you look at the slope of line segment DU and the line segment of UC, they are negative reciprocal slopes. Negative reciprocal slopes, which basically means they are opposite signs and they're flip slopes of each other. So this one's positive, this one's negative, and these fractions are flips of each other. So they're negative reciprocal slopes. So what have we proved? We just proved that since line segment DU and line segment UC have negative reciprocal slopes or opposite sign flip slopes, angle, so this angle here, DUC, angle DUC is a right angle, which makes oops, I should have said something. Hold on. So let's go back to that. So since they're negative reciprocal slopes, we just proved that line segment DU is perpendicular to line segment UC, which means angle DUC is a right angle. So triangle DUC is a right triangle. Okay, so once again, we just proved that these two line segments have negative reciprocal slopes. And since we said that, then that means that the line segments are perpendicular. And when they're perpendicular, they form a right angle. And so therefore, triangle DUC is a right triangle. Now the second part to this question, here it says point U is reflected over the line segment DC. So that means point U is going to end up somewhere here, forming image point U prime and forming quadrilateral DUC and U prime, which is somewhere over here. What we need to do is prove that quadrilateral DUCU prime is a square. Now, what you've learned about a square ever since you were in middle school is that all sides are equal. And not only that, we already proved that this angle is a right angle, so that's also beneficial. So let's go ahead and find where U prime belongs. Now, let's look over here. So if you remember when we were finding the slope, we counted we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 up and then to the right 2. Now, if you notice, it's a combination of 9 and 2. So same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 1, 2. See the combination of 9 and 2? So let's do the same thing. Now, let's say you're not too sure what number you're starting with. Is it going to be 2? Well, then the point is just way too short, right? So then you would continue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now, am I going to go to the right? No. I'm going to go to the left. 1, 2. And so I'm going to connect, and this becomes U prime. And now I'm going to connect this, and then if I were to continue my counting, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1, 2. So that's the combinations. So now we know that this is U prime, and now we got to prove that this is a square. To prove that it's a square, we have to prove that all 4 sides are equal. Well, if you notice, we have these right triangles that we've just drawn here. So like this is the right triangle, this is a right triangle, this is a right triangle, this is a right triangle. So what we're going to do is use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remember, C is our hypotenuse, and that's actually the side of the square. So let's call that S. Now, the order for the legs doesn't matter, so I'm just going to put 2 squared plus 9 squared. 2 squared, that's 4. 9 squared, that's 81. And then we're going to combine like terms. 4 plus 81 is 85. And the opposite of a square is square root. What you do on the right, you do to the left. So the square and square root cancel. So the side of each of these, the sides of the squares are each square root of 85. And so now what do we say? Well, we say DUC quadrilateral DUCU prime is a square because all 4 sides are congruent. So that was, each of them was square root of 85, and the measure of angle DUC is equal to 90 degrees. And so we've completed the problem.